Hey YouTube, so I hit the highest elo of the season with a team that I don't even know if I'd recommend using. I did well with it, but it's truly just a glassy team that hits extremely hard, uh, and has I think coverage for most of the meta. But there are glaring weaknesses, and I'll go over them now. So in the back, you are double weak to ground. So if you see a Gastrodon or something like that, it's basically Marowak is pretty bad too, but at least you can hit with incinerating blast burns. Otherwise, you're pretty much drawing dead in the back. But I wanted to try Typhlosion because I just used Ninetales the other day, and I'm like, Typhlosion. I used Talonflame. Typhlosion is a nice one because you get the blast burns that come super quick, and the Thunder Punch, which gives you the coverage if you have run into like a Azumarill or a Toxapex or something like that. So that's why I want to try that. And I know Morpeko is the ultimate glass cannon, so I'm like, okay, let's go with that. And I'm like, okay, I need something glassier, but I need some coverage. And I was just looking through my Pokemon dusknoir build. So you have two Pokemon that have nukes in the back. So a lot of times, I don't think I often show the dusknoir, but I can't remember. But you usually need to save shields in the back, or just put an insane amount of pressure on with charge moves from the back line and run with dusknoir. Like, so there's a lot of like kind of needing able to like adjust your strategy on the fly here. So like this is a bad lead, so we're gonna have to get out. I'm gonna play this matchup out. Well, I guess I do resist poison. Okay, try and catch. Okay, yeah. You resist the poison, and then try to catch a crunch on the Morpeko. So I guess that's what I was trying to do there. Again, Morpeko is a crazy safe swap, not one that I would normally recommend trying to use here. I do get off the Aura Wheel, which would one-shot from this range. They do shield. Let's see what I decide to do here. Just slide and let it go. Okay, grab one shield. It chipped a bunch. I have probably close to Dynamic Punch on the dusknoir. I think that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I think I can outpace here just to this and get a move up as opposed to Typhlosion, which would not get to a Thunder Punch before they get to an Aqua Tail. And they make a catch on Ninetales. A Ninetales, which is ice, which means this thing's just going to get deleted pretty quickly. And now I will have some energy coming out of this, and a shield up with energy. Typhlosion is going to be a big problem for my opponent's team here. And Jellicent, it's like, okay, as long as it's not just like Gastrodon, which would resist, that Thunder Punch does over 50%, which means that this one will take out, which means they're going to have to shield. And I think then I can probably just instant swap here. Yeah, just come in dusknoir and just probably shield. Yeah. Shield, Shadow Punch, maybe Astonish down, and then take that. They did go Aqua Tail. Okay. Astonish would, Shadow Punch would be resisted, but they're they're in the yellow and they're Shadow and I'm Shadow, so it may have taken out, but let's not screw around and find out. Let's just shield that. Take it out the Dynamic Punch, shield this, and that Astonish will go through and take this out. Lapras. So the thing here is the pacing, right? Because we know that Lapras is going to outpace the Sparkling Arias, especially when it comes to Dynamic Punches. So I'm going to have to, I do shield one here. I'm worried that if I shield one, they may just shield back. So I'm trying to bait here, hoping that even if they let this go, maybe I can just Astonish and Shadow Punch this down. They do shield. Yeah, and you're seeing that I'm just going straight for the Shadow Punch. It's because I don't think that I can get to Dynamic Punch before they get to their Sparkling Aria. And that would take me out. Probably just let this go and come in and I assume Thundershock down. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let that go, come in, Thundershock down, Sidewave resisted, almost out of move. So unfortunately met with a Claydol and they instant swap. So this is kind of like one of my only win cons here. Claydol is your Mud Slap user, which would kill the back line. But Blast Burn is basically gonna put this in the deep yellow. So I'm at 100 energy. Here comes the Claydol. I think I denied it. Fast move there too, which is huge. So I think I would have been taken out. And I instant swap. And now it's just because I'm loaded here, pacing, lowering its defense here, more so that I just want to get to the Aura Wheel here. This is super effective. I've already lowered their defense. It's a nuke. Too many weaknesses on Claydol. Goodbye, Claydol. Take out a tough back Pokemon there. Talonflame. So I'm going to outpace it to the Shadow Punch, that's for sure. I'm going to try and overfarm here. Yeah, it's sort of a weird one. You can throw it 12 versus 15. But if you get to the 15s, I don't know if there's a point of throwing Radon CMP because then if they go extra, they get a full incinerate through. So it's a weird timing one. But now 3 versus 5 is weird timing on, or 5 versus 3 is a weird timing on their end. They're just trying to get these extra incinerates through, but I'm now just out spamming them. So I just grabbed both shields, which is huge. I think I come Typhlosion here. Yeah. Basically because I know the incinerates would add up and they would get to a move. Those incinerators were adding up on Typhlosion, which is insane. But I have shield, have energy. This is kind of where you want to be with this team. And it is an Azumarill. I just go straight into here, knowing that I can like double shield. Not double shield, but getting 2 Thunder Punches off after anyways. But I just want to see what they have in the back here. And it is a Toxapex, so double water in the back. So there's 1 Aura Wheel to take it low enough. Boost my attack. Now, farm up. Psychic Fang this out. Change back to the electric form. This is why this Pokemon is so fun. Psychic Fangs takes us out. I'm already boosted once. Here comes a boosted Aura Wheel, and they are not even want to take that because they know what's happening next. Diggersby. Diggersby is real friggin' tough. It's a ground, so it beats my back 2 Pokemon, and it's a normal typing, which beats my ghost Pokemon. Obviously, you're also going to have problems with like Wiggly in the front, like Wigglytuff on the ghost and dark. It's just going to have a field day. But you do have fire, which is nice in the back, but it's still going to cost you a lot of effort, pain. And I do get to the second move just as we're getting to a Scorching Sands. I was about to say, I'd be surprised if I double shield. You live 1 Scorching Sands, get Dynamic Punch off. I think double shield Diggersby. So they don't. They let it go. And they give up Switch. Can I get to another one? I can get to another one, which is nice. Because this will, if it doesn't take out, it'll be pretty close to taking out. And now going morpeko, because this will one-shot. Like, the only problem is they're going to outpace. They have so much energy. So I think I live 1 draw run. It's free. Oh, it's way closer than I expected it to be. But I do get an Aura Wheel, so this will take out. And I'm going to have to try and 1-shield Typhlosion win here. So goodbye that. And it is a Credilli, which does have rock. So now it is, yeah, I'm letting a clock burn out in case I need to catch or something. So they get to a rock tomb. They're obviously going to lower my attack, and it is super effective. Now I got to watch for a catch. I got to try and get to a move here. They come in Diggersby. I come in here hoping that I could just take out. I can. And I have a Blast Burn loaded. So as long as the game doesn't like 1 turn deny me, I should be able to Blast Burn out here. They needed another move anyways. The Bullet Seed came through there. So Blast Burn. Goodbye, Credilli. It's fun being able to just like Aura Wheel and Blast Burn things into oblivion here. Azumarill lead. So we're obviously going to just stay in this matchup. And they get out into Drapion. I don't have an amazing answer for Drapion, which is why you're seeing the hesitation. I probably should have come morpeko right away. Now I have to shield a crunch here, and I don't like going behind there. I could still come morpeko and live 1 Aqua Tail. And that's what I'm going to do. Just live 1 Aqua Tail and outpace them on the Aura Wheel to the next one. They are going to chip though, and then that makes me dark form on the Azumarill, which is not great. But that'll take out. Out comes the Azumarill because I'm dark form. Can I get to an Aura Wheel? I should be throwing, yeah. If you're only going to get 1 move off, which looks like I'm only going to get 1 here, even a resisted Dark Aura Wheel, as you can see, taking it to the yellow, is way better than a non-stab Psychic Fangs. So I'm coming in here. I'm coming in here hoping they only have Ice Beam Play Rough. But I just happened to, in the last 2 days here, running into the 2 Azumarills that seem to be running Hydro Pump, whereas 90% of them run Ice Beam and Play Rough. I run into the 2 that seem to have Hydro Pump and take out my Ninetales and Typhlosion here. So very, very unlucky from that perspective. But what are you going to do? So I'll go down here. Okay, dusknoir into Primeape. Good lead. You know, Rage Fist will hurt. I should be able to live 1. So I'd be surprised if I shield up the first one because I should be able to live this. Yeah, that does take me to the yellow. You are glassy, right? But Get off a Shadow Punch. If they shield, I'll shield up the next one and match. And they do shield here. So that's okay. I can definitely shield and match. And I think I can farm. Because counter or Karate Chop I don't need to worry about. And I just get it off. Maybe just as they were getting to the move, like 9 versus 8 sort of thing there. And it's Clodsire, which is a ground. So I'll chip it a bit there, get into this matchup. That seemed fast, but you know I'm not counting. It is just a Sludge Bomb. Let's see if they get out here. They do not, so let's just try and grab this second shield here. I do. Get the Incinerate down. So they're in Psychic Fang's range now because of this. If they have to dump an Earthquake, they're low on energy. So I should be able to Psychic Fangs this out, and they instant swap into Dugong. And now it's just an easy over farm. I should have even over farmed a little more, but the Aura Wheel will land, takes it out, one-shots Dugong. And now I have a boosted Psychic Fangs, and that would have probably taken out anyways, but a boosted, super effective Psychic Fangs is definitely going to take out from this range. Yeah, I don't know if I would have taken out. It would have been close. Talonflame. So yeah, Talonflame, Typhlosion. I haven't seen any Ninetales on other people's end, but definitely have more play with these fire Pokemon. And I am, instead of playing the matchup out, catching a fly on the Morpeko, which is interesting. I do win CMP here, so that's nice. I'll grab a shield or take out. And they do let me take them out. And it is a Superior in the back, so alignment on Typhlosion here, which is nice. And we'll have to see what else they have in the back here. So these Incinerates are just ripping through. It is a Ferret. So baiting the Blast Burn. Kind of a weird bait, especially when you have Dynamic Punch on. Well, the problem is you may have Dynamic Punch, but Astonish is double resisted, and you take super effective from Sucker Punches. Oh, and they have 2 shield. That's why I'm baiting. Sorry, I was like, why did I bait? I baited because they had 2 shields, and they are likely to shield up a potential Blast Burn from Typhlosion with that shield. So that's why I baited. And now they try to catch on Superior, and they do, which is fine. Actually, they sniped me. They didn't even catch, but that just allows me to farm down with this. I'm shielding because I don't know how much an Air Lace would do, and I'm already in the yellow, and I don't want to test that theory, knowing that I'm going to win CMP here, and a Blast Burn's going to take out. Because this thing nukes like crazy. So there goes the Ferret. Tink. Probably just play this out. And they get out into Feraligatr. So a little slow on the Morpeko. I really don't want to take a Shadow Hydro here. So we're going to have to shield up. I'll probably CMP, or no, I was going to say one before, or CMP on the Hydro. This will take out or grab a shield. It does take out, so they're going to save the shield. Come back and Tink. Dark is resisted, but I'm boosted, so it'll still chip. Yeah, chips at a 50%, and I assume they'll throw right before. Oh, I was gonna say right before I get to the next move, but they threw pretty early. A Bulldoze. Oof, that actually makes it way worse. But instant swap, it is a Lapras in the back. And now it's just a pacing thing, right? They're up a shield, and Sparkling Aria, you get to it in 12. What? 12, right? So I got the Dynamic Punch here, which is nice. But if they... I was going to say farm down, they're going to have a shot, but they threw pretty early. And I should be able to Thunder Punch out now. I'm going to have to burn a shield, though. And the question is, how much energy do they have on their other Pokemon? And I don't know. So I threw, and I'm going to lose. I remember this. And they get to a third Sparkling Aria here. So I thought for sure, I'm like, oh, I only need one Incinerate. I'll beat this for sure. Not counting at all, and they get to a Sparkling Aria. So if I knew that, I would have just tried to commit to the farm down on Tink, but I just was not counting, and, you know, at this point, I know what I am, and I know how it's cost me matchups, but don't need to change. I'm not that worried about it. So I get a Shadow Punch off, and I grab a shield, so that's nice. Because now I just shield up a potential Dazzling Gleam and just match shields, and then still gonna just outpace this thing like crazy. They do bait with Foul Play, so it just means I'm gonna have to throw a little quicker than I could have if they actually did go Dazzling Gleam. This will take out. It does. Goodbye, Sableye. Hello. Tink. So resisted Aura Wheel, but you know, chip is chip. And they shield. What are they doing? I don't know why they shielded the Dark Aura Wheel, but they did. And now, just short. Fairy Winds did add up. And out comes an Azumarill. And this is where the Thunder Punch coverage move is way better than the Ninetales. Thunder Punch, almost 50% on Azumarill. Gonna just come in here and chip with the Astonish and Shadow Punch. Maybe just take out with Astonishes after this, depending if they throw or not. They did throw, so at this point, oh, okay. Shield and Astonish down and come out with a move. I guess that makes sense. So there's your Astonish down. Here's the move. Here's the Shadow Punch. I forget how much health this has left. Enough to live, but they're going to throw, and I think that's still a bit of an early throw, but if I'm not counting and you're not counting, this will just be a matchup where people make mistakes. Another Tink. Holy smokes. And this is why it is... Actually, I was about to say, this is why this is not the remix, but Tink is actually not in the remix because it came in too late. So they do Bulldoze. I've noticed that in the catch on Amanda Buzz, nice catch. Although I just aligned with morpeko, so they're in trouble here. But yeah, like I've seen a crazy amount of Tinks. As you've seen, this is like the 4th or 5th in this set here. So I mean, what can you do? It's just the way it is. Land the Aura Wheel, take out, boosted, throwing, and they came with Gastrodon, not even coming in with the Tink, which would resist the dark, and they let it go. What is happening? I get that you are a ground, but why would you do that? Anyways, they come in here. I come in and just sacrifice this, knowing that I can just incinerate down this Pokemon with 2 shields here. Yeah, and they top left, knowing that they screwed that one up. So yeah, it was fun. Like being able to blast burn an Aura Wheel thing. Just to put it in perspective, let me just bring up the stats on this thing for both of them, because the Aura Wheel and Shadow Blast Burn do like an insane amount. So Morpeko with an Aura Wheel does 120 damage, and 120 damage in itself is not. It's definitely a nuke. 120 is a great damage, but it's gonna probably pale in comparison to a Shadow Blast Burn here. But 120 is fantastic. But what makes it really strong is the getting to it in 10 and the 2.67 damage per energy. And you're so attack heavy, right? You have a 141 attack. So when you actually do that calculation out, that 141 attack makes it feel like those Aura Wheels are crazy. But Typhlosion with the Shadow Blast Burn here, coming in at 158.4. At 50 energy, 158.4, 3.17 damage per energy. My goodness. Absolutely crazy. This is why this thing is like insane, because Incinerate already has one of the best energy damage combos. So now you have the Shadow damage doing 5.6 damage per turn with 158.4 Blast Burn. Thunder Punch is not amazing, 72 damage, but 72 damage that gives you cover with your probably 130 some odd. Yeah, 132 attack stat 132. What is well, 132 plus the 20%, right? So it's 132 base, and as the Shadow you add 20% on. So you're adding on another 26. So now you're up at like 160 attack. So you have like a crazy 140 Morpeko. You have like a 160 with the Shadow here, and Dusknoir is a 120 with a 20% bonus. being another, what, 24? So you're up to like 140 something. So Morpeko actually has the lowest attack stat when you consider shadows on top. Morpeko at 141 is below like the 144 and like the, what I say, 150-ish plus on the other two. So it's glassy. It hits hard and it's fun. But yeah, you definitely gotta just be aware. Gastrodons and stuff like this will absolutely just delete you. So if you're gonna run it, you're gonna have problems if you run into a certain Pokemon. So be aware of that. Anyways, that is it. We'll kind of mix these Open, Great League here, and the Remix Cup this week. So please send me some battles below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.